Hello, hello, hi, folks. Welcome. Happy Friday. In hopes that you squeezed more out of your day than the day squeezed out of you. Welcome. Good to see you. If you're joining me live, let me know you are here. This is not a dream. It is actually happening at this time, at this hour. I know this may sound like it's an illusion. It's not. This is life. I am Team Money. What? You are awake and you are here. You're gonna like this story, man, a lot. So, yes. So today we're at the convention, obviously, this weekend. And this morning, somebody shared a story that just, I mean, come on. Somebody shared a story. I gotta share the story, right? Story is such a good story that it kind of just caught me by surprise, actually. It was a really, really neat little story, and I hadn't heard it before. And so I titled this live, I think something like, storms are inevitable in our lives. It's going to happen. We've talked about this a few nights now, all about the storms and the struggles and all the stuff that happens in one's life and all the crap on your plate. We've been talking about that stuff for a little bit, and it seems like everybody gets them, right? Everybody gets a storm in their life once in a while, and sometimes it's a tsunami, sometimes it's just a kind of a breeze, right? It just depends. But Ali J, what up? How are you, my man? Welcome. Good to see you, bro. So we get those storms in our lives all the time. But here's a little story. Maybe this story will inspire you to maybe think differently about the storm and also act very differently upon it, right? So I heard today that in Colorado, obviously, beautiful state, and when it gets really cold and the winter, you got the snow and you got all the storm that comes up. This is the only place in the world that the buffaloes and cows literally come together, right? In the storm, in the snowstorm. So this is the only place in the world that at this time of the year, anyway, they are next to each other. The buffaloes and the cows. Now you got two different animals that are going to handle the storm very differently. Pay attention to this. So when the storm hits, through the valleys in Colorado, it gets really cold, and the wind chill and the snow factor is just insane, right? So when the snow hits, here's what happens with the cow and the buffalo. So when the storm hits, the cow turns its back on the storm and starts to run, basically in a different direction than the storm, right? So it turns its back on the storm and runs away, right? Now, what happens with the buffalo is that buffalo turns around, faces the snow, and starts taking off at top speed into the storm. I'm going to put a pause right there for a second. Let's go back to the cow. The cow is running away from the storm, but here's what happens. The storm is running after the cow, you see, because the cow is running away and the storm is following it. Eventually, what's going to happen is that the storm is going to catch up with the cow. And cow ain't going to handle the storm too good. But what happens on the opposite side, the buffalo that runs through that storm eventually is going to get the tail end of the storm and is going to be out of the storm. So, in our lives, here's how I translated this. We are both a cow and a buffalo at the same time. Now, the person who actually shared this story had a different takeaway, but this is my takeaway. We both have a cow and a buffalo inside us. And every storm that hits us, we get to choose between the two, which one is going to come up first and handle the storm. And that's the truth. You know, sometimes you're going to be a cow and you're going to run away from your storm, and eventually that storm is going to catch up to you. And I know you've been there, and you're going to say, oh, finally caught up to me. I know you've said those words because I have too. The other side of you is the buffalo side of you, if you would. And that's the side of you that says, you know what? I don't care what storm hits me. I'm going to hit back. And I'm going to hit back even harder. I'm going to go right through it. You know, Les Brown, I saw him, I think it was 2009. I saw him live for the first time. And he said something in 2009 that has never left me. He said, if you're going through a rough time, a bad time, a tough time, keep going. If you're going through hell, keep going. Why would you stop and tell everybody else? You're gonna burn. Hey Sherry, how are you? Welcome, welcome. Good to see you. So we both have a cow and a buffalo inside us. You decide. You decide which one is gonna come out, which one is gonna play the game, which one is gonna play the storm, which one is gonna go through it, which one is gonna back down. That's your decision. It's not about you only have the cow, you only have the buffalo. It's not like that. You have a choice between the two every single time something happens. And I'm hoping that you don't choose the cow and you face your storms, go through them, hit back even harder, and just be prepared to face it. You know what I mean? That's the bottom line. If you don't face that diversity, if you don't face that storm, it's going to catch up to you eventually. It's just going to happen. It's inevitable. It's gonna catch up to you. Hopefully, you got some love, some inspiration, some value from this live. I appreciate you guys. I hope I have an audience in the background. You can tell, right? He's trying to be quiet, but he's coughing at the same time. So you can breathe, Peter. But hopefully you got some love, some inspiration, some value from this live. I appreciate you guys. I want to know what your takeaway is. Sherry's like, who's choking? It's Peter. Hopefully you guys are going to share your you know, I want to know. Yeah, that is Peter. Yeah, Sherry's Peter. We're rooming together for the convention. So. And we're actually, yeah, he's okay. And we're about to actually head across the way for the awards show. So, but I'd love to get your feedback. See, hey, what was your takeaway from this story? Was it very different than mine? Or yes, we are. Yeah. How could you tell the cough was Peter's? That's gangster, Sherry. I'm gonna tell him that. Yeah, that's gonna be awesome. But I definitely want to know your feedback. Drop your thoughts below. Let me know what you thought. Let me know how you have handled the latest diversity storm in your life. Were you a cow or a buffalo? Or how are you going to handle it in the future? Which one is going to show up? The cow or the buffalo? Drop your thoughts below. Let this feed grow. I appreciate you guys. And if you got some value, share this. Tag a couple people to this, share it on your wall. Do what you gotta do. Spread the love. You know how to do it. And remember, if you share, you show that you care. Until tomorrow, where we do it all over again. Much love.